Hi everyone, Dave Bradshaw here, along with RevPro booker and owner Andy Quildan. We have just come off air live in London 102 here in Porchester Hall. We said it would be pretty eventful, headed into Uprising this coming Sunday in Cardiff. My goodness, it certainly was. Let's start with the main event. We have a new undisputed British cruiserweight champion in Joe Lando. My question is twofold about this match. First of all, what's your reaction to the match and to Lando's win? Secondly, you mentioned during the show that you might tell us who Nino Bryan's opponent is going to be at Uprising, and I still want the scoop.
Yeah, well, listen, after that show, I feel like I made an error in judgment in telling Nino Bryan about this match prior to it happening, but obviously we had to get the paperwork signed to make the match happen. So how are we going to break this down? So, look, that match was just a fantastic professional wrestling match. It was from top to bottom, just, they're the perfect match for each other, Nino Bryan and Joe Lando. Very much like reminiscent of that chemistry that we've seen between Nino Bryan and Leon Cage. And as you alluded to, throughout the contest, like the cruiserweight division in Revolution Pro Wrestling is perhaps the strongest it's ever been. And my heart actually bleeds for Nino because I feel that the people now believe, I believe, I'm sure you believe, like the second that you saw Nino lift that British J Cup and the ring just be surrounded with children who were celebrating that victory, you realise that Nino Bryan's a real deal. Right?
Well, still one of my top 3 moments of the year.
Just fantastic. Just a real wholesome moment. Yeah. It's a personification of everything that we love about professional wrestling, right? The way it's able to make a connection that's so deep. And I'm sure those kids will remember that moment for years to come because it was just fantastic, right? And those are the types of memories, positive memories that stick with you. And that's something that is so beautiful and great about professional wrestling. And I genuinely feel it doesn't get enough credit for it, right? So just a stupidly crazy little thing that we do, but it just creates so many moments and memories which last a lifetime. So I, gutted for Nino, but at the same time ecstatic for Joe. Just a fantastic match between two of the best young talents in the world today. And look, I say it, I put our talents up there against any other wrestlers in the world. And then Nino and Joe absolutely delivered in spades tonight. So I encourage everyone who hasn't seen it to go out their way to check it out. Now, look, there's a lot to unwrap here. So before this contest, we thought we were going to have a champion versus champion clash at Uprising, when it's going to be Nino Bryan against a man who's putting his championship on the line. And we were talking about the AEW National Championship. It's going to be Nino Bryan versus Ricochet, who will be making his return to Revolution Pro Wrestling.
Oh my God.
He's coming Sunday live in Cardiff.
Wait, Nino Bryan, Ricochet?
Yeah. So we told Nino Bryan about this in the week, obviously having to get the paperwork ready and everything. And obviously he may well have had that contest on his mind going into this match with Joe Lando. But regardless, that match is happening for the AEW. It's a huge opportunity for Nino Bryan to rebound, right? It's a huge opportunity for Nino Bryan to continue to show the wrestling world what he's all about. It's just unfortunate for him, he won't be able to go there with a piece of championship gold on his shoulder, which obviously then breaks down. We need the Cruiserweight Championship involved in Uprising. Every championship is being defended next Sunday at Uprising. So we saw the chaos at the end of the show today, so I'm just calling it. Let's just have ourselves a scramble match. It's been a Cruiserweight Championship on the line. Joe Lando is going to be the toughest challenge.
Man, straight off the baptism
gate.
Of fire as champion.
So look, we're going to get Danny Black involved, his tag team partner, Robbie X, Leon Cage, Will Caven, obviously Joe Lando, and the sixth entrant, a man who's been very vocal about wanting that undisputed British Cruiserweight Championship, a man who came very close to winning that Cruiserweight Championship just 2 weeks ago, Leo Rush. So,
goodness me, what a lineup that is. You are dropping
smashing him.
bombs here.
I promise you, Uprising, we're smashing it out the park with Uprising. It's going to be a huge show live from the Vale Arena in Cardiff next Sunday afternoon. It's a special 1 p.m. start time. So we hope that people can make it. I hope that, people are going to be, in town for AEW running Collision in Cardiff at the Utility Arena in Cardiff on the Saturday night. So if you're in town, you're staying overnight in Cardiff, then before you go home, come check us out at the Vale Arena. And we're just 5 minutes down the road from where AEW is. So check us out. Like I said, we're going all guns blazing. It's going to be one hell of a professional wrestling show.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there's another, speaking of bombshells, we've got to talk about the situation around the undisputed British heavyweight championship match, which going into tonight, we believe was going to be Charles Samuels, Jay Joshua, and Leon Slater. Both Samuels and Joshua in action tonight, both of them victorious, and they were victorious in such dominant fashion that it seems Liam Slater has had a change of mind. Leon not here today, he's still in the United States, and in his absence, his coach Liam has pulled him out of that title match at Uprising. He's no longer going to cash in his Trios Grand Prix trophy. That is a shocker. What's your response?
It's not an ideal situation, is it?
No.
But, Liam Slater has seems to have proxy over what Leon Slater does here in Revolution Pro Wrestling. And listen, you just got to listen to the words of Liam. He said he was on the phone to Leon last night. His head's been turned. His mind's not in the game. He's not thinking about Revolution Pro Wrestling. He's not thinking about the undisputed British Heavyweight Championship. And as we learned with Cameron Kai, when you go into those situations without your head space in the right place, then you can waste these opportunities. And I think Liam will never forgive himself for letting Cameron Kai accept that challenge for Nino Bryant. And again, another match you should go out your way to check out, Nino Bryant and Cameron Kai from one of our Southampton shows recently for that Cruiserweight Championship. But it was a match that Cameron Kai lost, and a match that I believe Liam Slater believes, had he been there, had it been a different time, a different place, Cameron Kai would be stood here as your undisputed British Cruiserweight champion right now. And I think
that's still in his future, by the way, I think, because that was a hell of a performance tonight against Jay Joshua, even in defeat.
For sure. But look, fact remains, I think that Liam realises that literally the world is Leon Slater's oyster right now. And I think there may be some cryptic words in that conversation from Liam Slater. So maybe listen back and sit and try and analyze those words, because like you say, he's playing this game of four-dimensional chess is Liam Slater. He's always one step ahead. So he knows something that we don't know. But listen, what we do know is Leon Slater's not going to be there this Sunday at Uprising, which is unfortunate. But what is positive is we're going to see a rematch from that heavyweight clash in Leon, and what an intense physical war it was when Charles Samuels went one-on-one with Jay Joshua in Leon. And now we're going to do it in front of Jay Joshua's hometown crowd. Jay Joshua says he's going to change the game. Remains to be seen, but the undisputed British Heavyweight Championship will be on the line. Jay Joshua versus Charles Samuels for a second time. I think it's going to be a physical war. If today's anything to go by, it will most definitely be a physical war, because you saw a new side of Charles Samuels tonight. You saw almost Charles Samuels going back to his East End butcher roots, and he's going to have to, he says he fights best with his back against the wall, and I feel like his back is most definitely going to be against the wall next week, live from the Van Arena in Cardiff for Uprising.
Now, you talked about the strategizing of Liam Slater in amongst all that. One match where it didn't feel like there was very much strategy today, it was just an all-out fight, was our 10-man Revolution tag match, which was carnage from start to finish. Obviously, there are two matches Uprising that have consequences stemming from that match, because we know it's going to be one called Manda's one-on-one with RKJ. What a barn burner that's going to be. And of course, the undisputed British tag team title was on the line, the Young Guns taking on the Greedy Souls. All 6 of those men among the 10 who took part in the Revolution tag match. Your thoughts on that?
It was chaos, and it was a great taster of what there is to expect this Sunday at Uprising. I can't wait to see Ricky Knight Jr. and Manders go to war again. I can't wait to see what happens between the Greedy Souls and the Young Guns. And of course, we've seen how the Young Bucks fight at Young Bucks. We've seen how the Young Guns fight in Manchester when they're in their home city. There almost seems to be a different energy coming from the Young Guns. And I got a feeling we might be feeling some more of that this Sunday, but for the Greedy Souls when they're in their hometown city of Cardiff. So I think that's going to be very intriguing, very interesting to say the least. And like I say, a great taster, and it makes me a little bit nervous as well. So because it was explosive to say the very least. But this is what it's all about. It's about the competition. It's about the best testing the best. And that's what's going to happen this Sunday.
And one called Manda's RKJ.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's going to be
it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
RKJ, by the way, leaving Manders lying tonight, which is
and you know that Manders is going to come back swinging. He's he's left him lying tonight, but maybe Ricky Knight Jr.'s mistake was he didn't finish the job, because Manders will be back next week, and him and Ricky Knight Jr. they're going to go to war every single time they seem to see each other. It's almost on site, isn't it? And we'll never forget the way Manders came and stood up for us, or me, in where were we? Sheffield. And
we'd still be there now if it wasn't if it wasn't for Manders.
Maybe, yeah.
We'll see how that one goes. No, he wasn't the only one left lying tonight, though. Michael Oku was also left lying right in front of our commentary desk by Connor Mills. Moments after Oku had confirmed he is medically cleared, the match between him and Mills is a go for next Sunday at Uprising. Oku had some pretty choice words for several of his rivals in RevPro, including Mills. Mills clearly took exception and got in his shots ahead of this coming Sunday. It's going to be the fourth time Oku and Mills have gone one-on-one in a high-profile match here in RevPro. Oku's won all of the previous three, but I get the sense, I don't know how you feel, it could be a very, very different match next Sunday.
Yes, yeah, look, it absolutely could be. But when you've got competitors the level of Michael Oku and Connor Mills, it could turn out any way. But look, there's a lot of question marks, right? So Michael Oku I believe he let out a lot of frustrations tonight. And I think, when you have that time on the shelf, you have time to kind of reflect a lot. And he took shots at, you heard him take shots at Leon Slater, you heard him take shots at Charles Samuels, at Jay Joshua, and of course at Connor Mills. And we saw Connor Mills watching on the monitor in the back. And like you say, Connor Mills didn't take kindly to those words. This is a completely different Connor Mills, but this is also a different Michael Oku. It's a Michael Oku who's weathered so many more storms and got that championship big match experience, which Connor Mills doesn't have the same amount of, but he's an experience that he's growing in. But then there's a question of, after this long layoff, this is probably the longest layoff that Michael Oku's had since COVID. So how's Michael Oku going to respond after such a long layoff? And how's that knee going to hold up? We saw the way he exited the ring over the top rope, back down onto both feet, almost to illustrate that his knee's good to go. But listen, I was nervous for a while because, like I said, I hadn't heard from Michael Oku after, maybe the first couple of weeks. We knew he was getting an MRI, had to wait for those results. And he kept those results to himself until I guess he was ready to come back. Didn't want to kind of give away any weaknesses.
Maybe he's trying to keep Mills guessing.
And maybe, yeah. And like you say, maybe keep Mills guessing as well. Connor Mills has, took out Michael Oku, some choice language for me. I can't wait to see Michael Oku and Connor Mills again. And it'd be interesting to see how the crowd responds to that match. But many people speculating that this is Connor Mills' time, and many people speculating this is Connor Mills' time ahead of his tag team partner Jay Joshua's time. But look, Jay Joshua has shown what happens when you put that commitment in, you put that dedication in, and kind of you just put your head down and go about your business. And Jay Joshua's found himself in a position where he is the number one contender for that undisputed British Heavyweight Championship, and he could be 7 days away from fulfilling his destiny.
Now, there was a great match tonight between Emerson Jane and Nina Samuels. Samuels in her first match post-Cutthroat Collective, picked up the win.
Sort of the solo era.
The solo era, as she called it. I could talk about that match for a very long time because I thought it was one of the best matches of the night. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because when you're talking about both of those two, I'm sure would like to challenge for the undisputed British women's title. But at Uprising, we now know it's going to be Mercedes Moné defending the undisputed British women's title against Rio, who is 4-0 in RevPro this year. Undoubtedly, among a crowded field, the informed competitor of all the women in RevPro right now. What are you expecting when we see Moné and Rio in Cardiff?
A hell of a professional wrestling match. There's Mercedes Moné only has one level, and that is elite, and she's one of the best wrestlers on the entire planet right now. It's been so well documented about her journey, and the way that she's revolutionizing the game. She's, we talk about Jay Joshua wanting to change the game. Mercedes Moné is kind of, I guess, an inspiration, someone we can all look to in terms of changing the game, because that's exactly what Mercedes has done. And I feel that when you've got someone on the level of Mercedes Moné and with the mindset that Mercedes Moné's got, she's gonna come out with the intention of stealing the show, and against an opponent in the caliber of Rio, she's got the perfect opponent to do just that. I think Rio has got a chip on her shoulder. I think Rio believes her time is now. I think Rio believes that this is her destiny. I think Rio believes that the only championship which has eluded Rio in British professional wrestling, I think believes she's just days away from taking it. And listen, I've said it before, I'll say it again, momentum means everything. Mercedes Moné, you talk about Rio being the informed wrestler in Revolution Pro Wrestling. Mercedes Moné was the informed wrestler in the whole world of professional wrestling, period. But she seems to have hit a roadblock. We saw her lose in that AEW World Championship match against Chris Statlander. We saw her lose her Ring of Honor Television Championship to Red Velvet just this past Friday. And as easy as it is, or as hard as it is to turn winning into a habit, but when you turn winning into a habit, to keep picking up those victories seems to become easier and easier. It's a lot hard to break. It's also very, very hard to break that habit of losing. And momentum means everything. Momentum right now is on the side of Rio. I've never seen Mercedes so shook before. You know, there's people riling her up about losing that TV championship match. And many people are speculating this could be the end of the road for Mercedes and her run here in Revolution Pro Wrestling. And look, what I say, regardless, however you look at this, right, this Sunday history is going to be made when Mercedes Moné goes one-on-one with Rio for that undisputed British Women's Championship. But she won this championship January the 5th of the top of this year. Right. And this has been a great year for Revolution Pro Wrestling Women's Division. It's been a great year for getting eyeballs on Revolution Pro Wrestling. It's been a great year for the media attention we've received, and we owe so much of that to Mercedes Moné. And I spoke a lot about how Nino Bryant's Cruiserweight Championship run was kind of almost history making, and he was carving out a legacy for himself. I believe that Mercedes Moné's run here as undisputed British Women's Champion has done the exact same thing, and perhaps to even higher levels, because like I say, we're opening eyeballs to Revolution Pro Wrestling who have never seen our product before. And I talk time and time and time again about one fan at a time, one fan at a time, one fan at a time. And Mercedes Moné has helped us do that in spades. And look, whatever way this contest goes on Sunday, I'm excited, right? Either we have a great new champion in Rio, or this historic reign of Mercedes Moné continues. But what I will say is you do not want to miss this match.
You don't want to miss Uprising as a whole. It's a stacked card in Cardiff this coming Sunday. Just before we go, though, tonight was obviously our last live in London show of the year, our fourth show of Porchester Hall. We had that mid-year switch from the 229 to here. Just looking ahead to 2026, obviously the first Sunday of every month, we're going to be back here for Live in London at Porchester Hall. We've also announced 6 dates for Cardiff, for Coventry, for Sheffield, Southampton, all those dates that are announced. It's already looking like a very busy calendar in 2026.
Yeah, it's going to be the busiest year that Revolution Pro Wrestling's ever had. As I say, like, you go big or you go home, don't you? And this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to go big. And, you know, I can only thank everyone who's supported us throughout the last 13 years of our existence. And this is a big one. It feels like a big one coming up because, you know, like I say, we're going to be busier than we've ever been. It's so encouraging to see the crowds up everywhere we've been going. And we've got an opportunity to make new fans in Cardiff next week. We're going to be going to new venues next year as well. And it's just an exciting time. And I genuinely believe, like, you know, we spoke a bit at the top of this about when we're talking about the beauty of professional wrestling. And I genuinely believe that the level of wrestling that we produce is very overlooked often. I genuinely believe that the experience that we deliver is very, I don't use the word overlooked again, but I don't have my thesaurus with me. But I think there's nothing like watching Revolution Pro Wrestling live. I genuinely believe that. And I genuinely believe we have the best wrestlers in the world under our roof. And we bring in international talent from across the world, which complement our homegrown talent perfectly. And if there's ever a time to get behind a homegrown product, it's right now. Why can't there be a product in the UK which is looked upon by the rest of the world in the same regard as every other major wrestling organization? You know, look, we have no sponsors, we have no TV, we do everything DIY, you know, and it's a labor of love, but when you get results like we're getting, then man, is it worth it. So 2026 is going to be a huge year for Revolution Pro Wrestling. We've got so much exciting stuff to announce. All I can recommend is we're going to try and be pushing events.revolutionprowrestling.com as just an easy place to go straight away. It gets you straight to all the tickets for all the upcoming shows. Like I say, lots to announce, lots to come. Very, very excited. We've got Uprising still to come this Sunday. We've got a great Christmas dinner the week after. I've got my order in at the butcher's.
Charles Samuel's Butchers?
No, we live quite a distance apart from each other, but I do show Charles Samuel's the offers that I get at my butcher's. He's like, oh, my butcher's couldn't match that. So there you go.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Bransbury Park Butchers. But still, we've got no sponsors, so that's a free shout out, just in case anyone was wondering. And then we're gonna, a couple of days after Christmas, 3 days after Christmas.
Yeah, best name show of the year. Seasons Beatings in Southampton.
3 days. Yeah, 3 days after Christmas, we're gonna have some Seasons Beatings. Did
you mention we're going to a place called Wembley Arena in August?
Yeah, and then then after Seasons Beatings, all guns ahead to 2026. You know, we don't have long to recover, do we? Because it's 28th, and the following week we'll be back here at Porchester Hall. Yeah. So take a deep breath, strap yourselves in, because we're on the road to Wembley. And Mike Logan said his road to Wembley starts tonight. I think for many other wrestlers in Revolution Pro Wrestling, their roads to Wembley have already started. There's no guarantees. There's no spots given. There's nothing taken for granted. Everyone wants to earn a spot on the biggest show in Revolution Pro Wrestling history. Perhaps could be the biggest show in British wrestling history, in independent wrestling. You know, dare to dream. We'll see what happens. We'll see where this thing takes us. But I promise you, you do not want to miss Revolution Pro Wrestling 14-year anniversary show live at Wembley Arena, August 29th next year. And just thank you everyone for your support. Continue watching, continue supporting Revolution Pro Wrestling. We've got so much more still to come. And don't forget, if you can't be there live, next best thing is to check us out on RevProOnDemand.com.